Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 9 of the DNA Film Wars podcast. Today is our
discussion episode
on Overlord and Girl in the Spider's Web.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be listing, a little bit later, we'll be listing our top 5 zombie films and our top 5 female-driven action films.
We're also going to be talking about some recent movie news. We'll talk about The Spies in Disguise, which is a new animated movie coming out. Talk about that trailer.
Smith and Tom Holland.
Absolutely. Rambo 5.
Ooh.
And the possible Medea coming to an end.
Thank you, Lard.
Dear Lord Jesus. And then we'll talk about our upcoming reviews and upcoming episodes. So let's go ahead and get into it. What are your thoughts on this new Overlord movie coming out?
At first, when I first saw the trailer and everything, I was a little skeptical. I was like, this is gonna be bad. This looks bad.
Not me. I thought it looked like a fun time.
Yeah, I thought it looked bad. I was not looking for it. But over time, I have softened my view. I've seen the early reactions coming out, and I'm like, it's got potential.
Yeah.
It could be entertaining. I don't think it's gonna be an Oscar winner, but it could be entertaining. How about you?
I'm pretty excited for it. I don't know who's directing it, but I mean, I know that it's a Bad Robot production, which means JJ is attached to it. So most things that JJ
Directed
is attached.
by Julius Avery.
There you go.
I still don't
That's
know
who
who
it's
that
directed. I don't know who that is either, but I mean, JJ Abrams is producing it, and most of the things JJ Abrams produces are good.
Last Jedi.
We don't talk about it. You should.
I'm sorry. But that was not a Bad Robot production.
It was not a Bad Robot production, but I'm looking forward to it. The first time I saw the first trailer, I was like, hey, that's going to be a cheesy action horror World War II fun time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what are you thinking about Girl in the Spider's Web?
So having seen Girl in the Dragon Tattoo...
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Whatever. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo once...
I want to see how you get in a dragon tattoo.
Having seen that once many years ago, from what I remember, it was really good. And I don't know if this is like a direct sequel, considering the fact that Claire Foy is playing the title character.
I think it's more of a James Bond type.
Yeah, maybe like anthology
type thing,
series.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's got potential to be pretty good. First reviews from critics, I don't think have been great.
They've been mediocre or middle of the road. Yeah, I'll say the same thing. I haven't seen A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. We do plan on reviewing that sometime this week. I hear good things about that film. This film, I think reception's been lukewarm so far. Claire Foy. She's a good actress. I just watched her in First Man just here a couple weeks ago. She's really solid.
She's a Golden Globe winner.
Golden Globe winner. I think that film could be pretty good. Like I said, I haven't watched these films yet. You can attest to this more than I can. I feel like A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo is more of a psychological thriller. I feel like this is going to be a more straight up action thriller.
Yeah.
But
we'll see how it goes, right?
We'll see how it goes. So, with all that being said, in honor of Overlord, why don't you start us out with your top 5 zombie films, starting with number 5.
All right, so number 5 is a movie. I will say I haven't seen this in a while. The last time I remember watching this was probably 2010 or 11, but I remember being pretty good. It's 28 Days Later. I don't remember a whole lot about it, other than it's got a bunch of zombies in it. And
what else could you ask for?
I mean, what else can you ask for? And it's got a bunch of hordes of zombies, and it's a good time. But I remember it being a fun time, so I'll put it at my number 5.
Yeah, my number 5, I have the film Warm Bodies. I actually didn't... Walking into that movie, I didn't think I was going to like it, because 1, I hate rom-coms, and 2, I hate rom-coms.
That's fair. Rom-coms are rom-coms.
But, I walked out of that, I actually enjoyed it. There was kind of a little bit of
It wasn't bad.
A heartwarming story. Not usually into those.
If you don't know, Aaron is a cold soul.
Yes. I'm as cold as those zombies in that film.
That's true.
But it was entertaining. The young actors in it, I can't remember the actor's name who plays.
His name is Nicholas Hoult. Or something
Nicholas
like that.
Hoult. That's right. You're right. He's now in the X-Men prequels or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He did a really good job, and
Teresa Palmer's in that movie too.
Yeah, everyone did a good job in that movie, and it's actually a pretty decent little fun time.
Well, coming into my number 4, I have George A. Romero's classic Night of the Living Dead. We just watched this, both of us, I think, for the first time here pretty recently, about the end of September, and it was really good. Really kickstarted that zombie genre film. They didn't ever actually mention the word zombies in the film. They called them, what do they call them in that movie?
I don't even know if they really ever pinned down a term.
They didn't really pin down anything, yeah.
It's kind of like The Walking Dead. They never
really say zombies, so
walkers.
But overall, it was really good. I thought that movie's well acted and well directed, and it's got to be on my list just for what it is. It's classic. It's classic reasons, and then the fact that it really, without it, we wouldn't have all these other zombie movies that we have today. So.
Yeah, I'll go with Night of the Living Dead as my number 4 as well. Same reason you are. More than anything, we owe the modern zombie genre or subgenre to this film. It really, even though you watch Night of the Living Dead, they're working towards the what we view as the modern zombie look. They're not quite as rotted and messed up and that.
They kind of just look like people.
Yeah. But and it's black and white, which was a stylistic choice, not just because it was old. But listeners, I just want to say right now, if you hear rain and/or thunder in the background, I apologize, but it's late at night and it's storming, and we can't help it. As I was saying, Night of the Living Dead. It was obviously a groundbreaker as far as modern zombie movies go. It's actually a pretty entertaining film to itself. There's actually some nudity in it. I was kind of shocked for a 68 movie. I don't know what the standard was in 1968, but and it was progressive. There was
It was one of the first films to have an African American lead actor.
Yeah, so go George.
It's also one of the last films to not receive a rating before the new rating system came out. So
by the MPAA,
MPAA,
whatever they call it. Yeah, they're stupid. But so that's my number 4. What do you got, number 3?
All right, so coming in at number 3 on my zombie films list is going to be your number 5, and that's going to be Warm Bodies. I really enjoyed this film. Every time I watched it, I pretty much enjoyed it. I've seen it a handful of times. I really like how the story progresses. It's kind of, it's got some war aspects to it because, they're fighting the zombies. It's got Nicholas Hoult in it. He does a really good job as the lead. Teresa Palmer's good as the lead actress. We even have John Malkovich in this movie, who plays Teresa Palmer's father. He's like a leader of this group of people in this post-apocalyptic setting, and
But he turns out to be the bad guy.
He turns out to be the bad guy, he does, and he tries to kill our lead character at the end of the movie, which is unacceptable.
To be fair, the lead character is a zombie.
To be fair, he is a zombie, but at the end of the film, you do find out, his relationship and love for Teresa Palmer's character has made him become human again, so I enjoy it.
Yeah. So for my number 3, I have World War Z, starring Brad Pitt.
What a guy.
Yeah, I usually am not a Brad Pitt fan, but I'll accept him in this role. This movie is really fun. It's got some really cool imagery with the way they have zombies sort of like ant colonies and the way that they just like pile on top of each other, and it's like they have no mind at all. It's just...
It's one of the first zombie movies that has like a faster moving zombie too.
Yeah, and that's the slow sprint after you.
Yeah, they're fast.
Scary. And there's some really tense moments, like that airplane scene where on the plane and the people in the next cabin are all turned into zombies. Like, that's a pretty tense scene. Someone, of course, drops a suitcase, makes some noise. And then the scene where maybe my favorite scene in the movie is the scene where they're in Israel. And they're behind the wall or whatever, and like
all those zombies are just...
And the zombies are like piling up on top of each other to get over the wall. And then the lead actress, I forget her name, she gets bit and Brad Pitt just chops her arm off. It's just great.
It's a good time.
But I really like the movie. I know, again, Brad Pitt, I have trouble liking his films sometimes, but he does a good job in this when he doesn't detract from the film around him.
That's fair.
And I think it's a really solid zombie time.
All right. Well, coming in at my number 2 is, I believe, what is your number 3, and that's World War Z. There's not much more to say than you've already said. I really enjoy the movie. I think Brad Pitt does a pretty good job. I'm not as big a Brad Pitt.
Brad Prick. We can call him that too.
I'm not as big a Brad Pitt critic as you are. I happen to like Brad Pitt a decent amount. I think he does some pretty solid work in most of the things he's in. But I enjoy the movie, and it's my number 2.
All right, I'm just gonna say before I say this, I'm not usually a big fan of comedies.
No, you're not.
But you're not. You wouldn't believe me if you're gonna listen to my top 2 zombie films here. And number 2, I got Shaun of the Dead coming in. It's one of those Simon Pegg, Nick Frost team up movies. It's been a couple of years since I watched it, but it's really funny. And it's actually not only is it funny, it's actually a pretty good zombie film in and of itself. Simon Pegg, as always, he's funny.
Simon Pegg, man.
Nick Frost, he's funny. He ends up turning into a zombie by the end of the movie. But if you like those Simon Pegg, Nick Frost movies like Hot Fuzz and
World's End.
Yeah, World's End and stuff. You'd like this one. It's fun.
Alright, well, capping off my zombie films list is a zombie comedy classic, and it is Zombieland. Starring, Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, we have Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin, as well as an appearance by Bill Murray. So, with a cast like that, you can't go wrong, and it's just a fun time all around, and I really like how the story is set up and told. Now everyone kind of meets each other, everyone's kind of, their own outcast. Everyone gets named after a state, which is cool too. I don't know. But it's a fun time. I like it a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ideas being thrown around in that zombie
Super
film.
excited for the next one that's coming out. It's supposed to be next year. Yeah.
Hey, I am excited to see Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Oh, that should be interesting.
And I will say the director of Zombieland is the director of Venom. He took a huge step down with Venom. I don't know what happened there.
Listen, the only thing I'm hoping with him playing Carnage is they get rid of that dumb red wig. That wig is awful. At the end,
I don't know. It's kind of funny.
I cracked up when I saw it, but it's bad.
There's gotta be
Carnage.
I love Woody Harrelson.
What a guy.
I'll say the same. Number 1, Zombieland. It's entertaining from start to finish. It's got an excellent cast. Some of like I was saying, some of the cool little things they do, like name people after states. It's just a neat little writing conceit that they have that adds to the movie. You never actually figure out anybody's real name, I don't think.
Not that I'm aware of. I can't remember, at least. It's been a little while since I've seen that one, but...
Yeah, I don't think they ever say anybody's real name. And then Woody Harrelson's just great in it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Woody Harrelson,
and
so...
Bill Murray shows up, and their whole thing was like, you don't know who Bill Murray is? That's like saying you don't know who Gandhi is.
Oh, I freaking love Woody Harrelson's character's whole quest for a dang Twinkie.
I love, the Twinkie thing. That's funny.
It's such a good time.
But anyway, I think that concludes our discussion on our top 5 zombie films.
Yep.
So, in honor of A Girl in the Spider's Web, we're going to list our top 5 female-driven action films. And again, I think I'll hand it off to Dylan for his number 5.
Alright, before we get started on this list, I'm just going to say some of our picks on this list may be semi-questionable whether you can consider them female-driven and or complete and total action films. But with that being said, my number 5 is going to be Catching Fire, which is part of the Hunger Games series.
Second film in the Hunger Games.
Second film in the Hunger Games series, based off the second book of Suzanne Collins' trilogy of books. I have personally read all 3 books, and I really enjoyed the second one. It's probably my favorite book, as well as this one is my favorite movie, which is why I put it on my list. I think Jennifer Lawrence does a great job in all 3 movies. Toward the end of the last movie, she gets kind of whiny, but that's okay. I think she does a really good job in this one, as well as everyone else in this movie. I think Josh Hutcherson does a pretty good job. I think Sam Claflin does a good job in this movie. Jenna Malone, they all do a really good job. Liam Hemsworth is in it slightly for a little bit, not as big a focus as in the first one, but he is also in this one, as well as another movie with Woody Harrelson in it. So it's always a good time, and I really enjoy the Hunger Games films, and I think
very subdued Woody Harrelson. Yeah, he doesn't do much. At my number 5, I have Underworld, and people are gonna be like, but Aaron, Underworld sucks, and I'll be like, the first one doesn't.
It's got Kate Beckinsale.
It's got Kate Beckinsale, and she's very pretty to look at.
She's attractive,
and she has a very tight leather suit on. But that's not why I got it on number 5. I'm a big fan of werewolf and vampire films, Twilight excluded.
We won't talk about those.
Yeah, we don't talk about those. And I actually think, I know a lot of people complain about Underworld because they they get a little ridiculous with this big mythology, like Lord of the Rings style mythology. They try to build around it, but I actually enjoy the first Underworld, like the concept of bringing like this vampire, werewolf. They call them lichens in Underworld. Vampire lichen war into this modern world, and the vampires having like these silver bullets and all these modern guns that they're shooting around everywhere, and like they're, I don't know, like they're all really old in this movie, and then Kate Beckinsale is just she kicks butt in this movie. She does a great job as the lead actress, and I find it a really fun time, so I'm gonna go with Underworld at number 5.
Alrighty, well, coming in at my number 4 is something that I'm sure is probably not one of Aaron's favorites, and that's gonna be Kill Bill. I happen to be a pretty big Quentin Tarantino fan. Haven't seen a bad Quentin Tarantino movie yet, and I have seen all of his quote-unquote 8 films that he has created, and I enjoy every single one of them. Kill Bill is one of the better ones that he has made, in my opinion. I think Quentin Tarantino does a good job with it. Kill Bill 1 and 2 are both good. Uma Thurman, as our title character, does a really good job. And he and Uma Thurman actually wrote both of the films. Soon to be possibly a third one too in the near future, but I really enjoy the Kill Bills, and I think the action sequences are really good. It's really cool seeing Uma Thurman, chop some people up with a sword. It's a good time.
Yeah.
So
I can't speak to Kill Bill specifically because I haven't watched that one, but I will say I'm not Quentin Tarantino's biggest fan.
I love Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
he's got some good
We'll
ones.
talk about him. We'll have a bonus review on one of his movies eventually, and we can talk more about him. But coming in at my number 4, this is where we might start digging into some controversy. I got Mad Max Fury Road. I know the title of the movie is Mad Max, but really if you watch the movie, the star of the movie is Charlize Theron. Would you agree?
I would agree with that. She really steals that show.
Yeah, and
as good as a performance as Tom Hardy gives as
he
Max.
doesn't do anything. He doesn't talk. I mean,
he still gives a good performance.
He gives a performance, but he doesn't do much.
That's fair.
But yeah, Charlize Theron, she kicks butt in this movie. I've never seen a movie where I thought Charlize Theron was bad, and she does a great job in this movie. The
Snow White movies are questionable, where she plays the evil queen.
Is that on her part though?
I'd say probably more writing.
Yeah, maybe she a little overplays that. But anyway, the movie around her is really great too. I think George Miller did a really great job with that film. Maybe the best Mad Max movie over Mad Max 2, Road Warrior. I don't know. I'd have to.
I really think that Mad Max Fury Road is it's pretty great. I mean, you could almost watch that movie and understand what's happening without hearing any of the dialogue. That's how well it's made.
It's got Nicholas Hoult in it too.
It does. He plays a real weird character, but
a real weird character. It's got, like we said, Tom Hardy, of course, and Charlize Theron, and everyone does a great job in it. But I think Charlize Theron definitely steals the show, and she's really great in it. So I got it coming in number 4.
All right. Well, coming in at my number 3, this one's also up for debate whether you want to call it an action movie. You could say it's sci-fi action. I'm gonna go with Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens. Aaron will appreciate that pick.
Yeah, I like that film.
Female driven.
Definitely.
Daisy Ridley as Rey is one of the highlights of that movie, as well as the trilogy so far.
No.
Hush.
She takes a huge step back in the Last Jedi.
I thought she was good in the Last Jedi
there
too.
There were some line deliveries that are truly
I think she's pretty good, but I really enjoy The Force Awakens. It's a really good time, and I thought it was a really good way to kick off the new trilogy. With J.J. Abrams directing, it looks really good. And though people could argue it's just a remake of Episode 4. It's still a great time, and
a really good remake of Episode.
It's a really good remake, and I really enjoy it a lot. Like I said, Daisy Ridley does a great job. John Boyega as Finn does a really good job. I mean, everyone in this movie does a good job. Oscar Isaac, Harrison Ford, in his last time playing Han Solo, shed that tear. Everyone is great.
Till he needs another paycheck.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Adam Driver playing Kylo Ren. Carrie Fisher. I mean, everyone in this movie is great. And then that final shot of the film with Rey walking up to Mark Hamill's, Luke Skywalker, and handing him that lightsaber. It was a good movie, and it's my number 3.
Yeah, for my number 3, I'm gonna go with the first Hunger Games film. I would agree that Catching Fire is a superior book to the first Hunger Games novel.
Absolutely.
I think as far as the films go, though, I think the first Hunger Games, just because of its more basic, streamlined plot, I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than I do Catching Fire as a film. I think Catching Fire gets a little bit out there. But I really enjoyed that first Hunger Games movie. Jennifer Lawrence, one of her better performances. I think she's kind of up and down in her career.
She is up and down, yeah.
But definitely one of her better performances is what made her a superstar. And this it's a really good movie. And I mean, even though I think some of the CGI effects are kind of questionable, it does kind of slow down in points. But overall, it's really good. The idea of it, of kids having to kill each other for this game or whatever, is just pretty horrifying. And I think they do a good job of playing that up and everything. So I'm gonna go with that at number 3.
All right. Well, I think at this point is where our lists are the same for our picks number 2 and then 1. So coming in at my number 2 is T2 Judgment Day. There's not much I can say about this movie. James Cameron and Gale Anne Hurd made a amazing sequel to their first Terminator movie. I 100% say it is better than the first one. I enjoy it way more than the first one. Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator is spectacular, as always. I mean, he's Arnold doing Arnold things, and you just can't go wrong with that. That female-driven character of why we put it on this list is Linda Hamilton, and she is absolutely great, and she is a complete and total badass in this movie, and she does a great job in it, and she plays like a war-hardened person who she's experienced this event with the Terminator the first time, and they stopped it, and she's having to go through it again, and she's trained her son, and she has kind of a strained relationship with her son because of what she's gone through, and she starts out at the beginning of the film in a mental institution because people think she's crazy, and I just really overall I think it's a great job. It's a great job, well done by James Cameron, and it's a great time. So that's my number 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Some people may ask, why are you saying T2? Because that's more Arnold's film than Linda Hamilton's. And I would say, well, if you look at the first film, which Linda Hamilton is probably more of the central star, she does a great job in that film acting, but her character is not the, action driver hero of that film. It's really the character of John Connor's dad. What's his name? I can't remember now. Yeah, I'm just totally blanking. Anyway, she's not maybe the main kick butt character. But for T2, she has become that character because of what she experienced. She's trained herself to be like this, really like you said, kick-ass character that is ready for anything.
Absolutely.
Even though she's in a psych ward.
In a psych ward, she stabs a guy in the movie with a pin. So
there you go. She's great throughout the film, and she'll stop at nothing to save John Connor. And like you said, it's just a great movie, and Linda Hamilton pulls it off. James Cameron obviously does a great job. Arnold Schwarzenegger, everybody involved. So
it's a good time.
Good time. So what do you got at number 1? I think it's the same as I got.
Yep, same as you. All right, number 1. I guess what Aaron and I both have is Aliens.
With an S.
With an S. Aliens with an S. James Cameron, again, his sequel to Ridley Scott's first Alien film. And what can I say about this one? It is an action classic.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver as Ripley is spectacular, and I think her acting in this movie is phenomenal as far as action films go, and in general, even if she is a female-led character, it is amazing. And her dynamic with the little girl in the movie, I think, is really good, and overall, it's a great movie, and I really enjoy it. So that's my number 1.
Yeah, I'll agree. The reason I don't have Alien, or neither of us have Alien,
I wouldn't consider that one more.
That one's
action
more.
Film.
Yeah, that's a horror film. This one is definitely action, and Sigourney Weaver does a great job, and kind of sort of similar to the same situation that Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor's character did from Terminator 1 to Terminator 2.
She's kind of gone through that experience. And
Sigourney Weaver has gone through that experience, and she's tougher now. She's more prepared, and she does a fantastic job in Aliens. James Cameron again at the top of his game. and pretty much everyone involved. Bill Paxton's in it.
Yep.
Other people who I'm blanking on their names right now. But yeah, overall the movie is just great, and I think that about wraps up our top 5 lists for this week.
Absolutely. So why don't we get into some movie news? First up, we recently put this on our schedule for next year. It's an animated film starring Will Smith and Tom Holland. I think Rashida Jones is in it, and some other people are going to be in it. It's a movie called Spies in Disguise. What are your thoughts?
I can't say that I'm just jumping out of my seat excited for it.
Me either.
Obviously, it's got Will Smith, and it's got Tom Holland, who I'm a big fan of right now. It looks like it could be interesting. I think the plot line is somehow Tom Holland's character
Has turned
Will Smith's character.
into
Will Smith's character is a
spy.
And he has gotten turned into a bird by Tom Holland's character.
He's been turned into a bird.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to all play out. But it looks like it could be interesting. Hopefully we'll get around to reviewing it next year. I don't know. Our schedule for next year is very tentative at this point.
Yes, very.
Depending on how the release schedules and release dates change and everything. So what about you? You got anything?
I'm pretty much on the same page as you. I mean, I'm not, just jumping for joy, excited for this one. I mean, I think it's got potential to be a fun time. I think it'll be a good kid-friendly, action-y spy film that's animated. I think, despite Aaron's opinions, I think Will Smith is a fun time. He's had some downers here and there that we won't talk about after. Sorry about that. I think it'll be a fun time. I really love Tom Holland. I think he'll do a good job in it no matter what. But like you said, I mean, the plot looks like it could be questionable, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. So what I am excited about, we got our first look at Rambo 5.
Rambo 5, Last Blood.
Last Blood. And Rambo has turned himself into a cowboy.
In the picture that we've seen, yes, he is a cowboy.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the story that Sylvester Stallone said, that he's going to be like living the cowboy life.
What a guy.
Anyway, so have you watched the other 4 Rambo films?
I have seen all 4 Rambo films. It has been a while since I've seen all 4, but from memory, they're all a fun time. I mean, they're Sylvester Stallone in an action movie at his best. So
yeah, I'll agree. It's been a while. I have seen all 4.
The 4th one's questionable.
I have seen all 4. It's been a while. I really love the first one. The first
one's great.
It's a great film. The other 3 are, you just gotta take them as they are. They're fun action films.
4's questionable.
Yeah, like I said, I have to rewatch it. But they're fun action films. I'd say probably Sylvester Stallone's second most iconic role behind Rocky.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm excited to see what he does with this new one. Maybe he'll put out a good movie. I'm hoping.
He's getting a little old, so.
He's getting a little old, but that's the thing in Hollywood now. Get these old actors and throw them into their old roles and see what happens. Which sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
What's that last thing on our list?
Our last thing on our list. Tyler Perry's Medea franchise may be coming to an end soon.
According to Tyler Perry, that is confirmed, but we will see.
Yeah, we'll see until he needs another paycheck.
I've seen a very limited amount of Medea movies
I've
in my life.
seen 1.
I think I might have seen 2. So I wouldn't say I'm a Medea fan by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't even like the one I've seen.
But it's Tyler Perry's, classic character. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not necessarily looking forward to the movie, but it'll probably be a fun Medea time. Probably.
Okay. The one I have seen Medea Goes to Jail.
That's the one I've seen.
I didn't care for it.
And I've seen Boo Medea Halloween or whatever.
Yeah, how was that?
It's okay.
In that film, was Medea like the main character?
It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Because my issue with Medea Goes to Jail, and I don't know if this is with all Medea films or just this one, Medea is not the main character in that movie. It is this other woman who has gotten dragged into the prostitute life and about her struggles overcoming addiction and all that. And Medea, as I recall, is barely in the film. And she's kind of funny when he as Medea is kind of funny when the character's in the film, but it's not in the film a lot.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. So I can't say that I'm heartbroken to hear it coming to an end.
No. So what do we got coming up? We got
obviously we got
a lot coming
Overlord. We got Overlord and Girls and Spiderweb coming up. Hopefully a girl with a dragon tattoo.
We're looking to do a bonus review of that one.
What about the next weekend? What we got coming
next
up?
Next week and after that we got Creed 2, and then a possible bonus review of Illumination's new animated picture, The Grinch, with Benedict Cumberbatch. I think that one will be a fun time.
Yeah, I think does The Grinch come out this weekend? Or does it come out next weekend? And that's what
it might come out this weekend. I think that one comes out this weekend, but we have 2 movies scheduled this weekend, possibly 3. So we've pushed it back a week because I don't think anything quite as big is coming out next weekend. Maybe I'm not quite sure.
Except for Creed 2.
Creed 2, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back. My goal is
we're gonna try to do the Rocky films, right?
I'm gonna go back and try to watch all the Rocky. I don't know if we'll review them on the podcast.
You've never seen them all, have you?
I have only. Actually, I know the only one that I have actually think that I've sat through and watched the whole movie was the first Creed movie.
That is blasphemy.
Because I went with my brother Adam to go see it in theaters.
The Rocky movies are great, man.
I've seen the first Rocky movie. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it from beginning to end in one setting. I think over the years I have watched most of it in bits and pieces. I've seen bits and pieces of the other ones.
I'll tell you right now, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, all good. Rocky 5 is garbage. Rocky Balboa is not bad. And of course you've seen Creed, but we'll talk about those in a discussion episode before we do Creed.
So I had to sit down and try to watch those. Maybe the movie will probably mean more to me if I've at least watched Creed Rocky 3 and 4 or something.
Rocky probably 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And part of 3.
All right.
But we'll try to do our discussion episode over Creed, and we'll talk about those. I'm thinking maybe we can possibly do as a second top five Sylvester Stallone movies.
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
We might talk about that as well. And then if we decide to do a discussion over The Grinch, we might throw in top 5 Christmas movies.
Top 5
animated movies or Christmas movies, whatever.
Yeah. It's
a good time, but we got a lot coming up here in these next couple weeks. So,
I can tell you right now, top 5 animated movies: Toy Story, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3,
Toy Story, Toy Story, Toy Story.
But
we got a lot coming up, so definitely keep a lookout for all that stuff.
Yeah. So as always, thanks for listening. If you have any specific questions and or comments, you can contact us at dnafilmwars@gmail.com. Dylan, I think we are up on all social media sites.
Absolutely.
I mean, not all, but most.
We're pretty much on all social media sites: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Pretty much all your major ones that most people get on. It's at DNA Film Wars, all underscore or all lowercase, no space.
Yeah.
So give us a follow.
Yeah, and feel free to give us a rating on any service.
We're up on most of them. Anything you can think of, you can probably find us there.
You can probably find us if you look. As
well as YouTube. So
I guess that's about it. So as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Dylan, and we'll see you next time.